My child, I see you. Not the version of you that shows up for everyone else. Not the face you put on in the morning before the day begins. Not the voice that says I'm fine when someone asks how you're doing. I see the one underneath all of that. The one who lies awake when the house is finally quiet, running through everything that still needs to be handled, still needs to be figured out, still needs to be held together. The one who keeps going, not because it's easy, but because you've told yourself there's no other choice. I have been watching you carry this. Not from a distance, not in the way someone notices from across a room. I have been close, closer than the worry that sits in your chest, closer than the thoughts that find you before you've even finished waking up. And what I want you to know right now in this moment is that none of it has been invisible to me. Not the morning you got up when you didn't want to, not the conversation you held yourself together through, not the need you quietly set aside because someone else's felt more urgent, not the grief you folded up and tucked somewhere small because there simply wasn't time. I saw all of it. There is a particular kind of tired that doesn't show on the outside. It doesn't always look like exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like competence. Sometimes it looks like dependability. Sometimes it looks like the person everyone turns to, because you've always come through before. But I know what it costs. I know what it takes to be that person day after day, without anyone thinking to ask what you might need. You have been strong in ways that no one has thought to name, in quiet ways, in invisible ways, in the small daily ways that never make it into anyone's story about you, but that I have never once missed because I have been here, in every one of those moments, seeing what you carried without complaint, without recognition, without anyone truly understanding how much of yourself you were quietly giving away. And I want to say something to you that perhaps no one has said in a long time. You didn't have to do it alone, not the way you have been, not with that quiet weight sitting on your shoulders as if it was always meant to be yours, alone to bear. You took on so much, not out of weakness, not out of poor judgment, but because you love the people in your life, because you care about what happens to them, because something in you would rather strain under the weight yourself than watch someone else struggle beneath it. I know that about you, and I want you to hear this gently, the way I mean it, that love in you is real, it is good, it has always moved me, but love was never meant to hollow you out. There has been a weariness moving quietly through so many hearts, a kind of heaviness that doesn't always have a name, that settles in slowly over time, the way a room grows cold when no one notices. The warmth has been slipping away. You have felt that. Not just recently, for longer than you've admitted, even to yourself. I have watched you keep going through it, rearranging your own needs to make room for everyone else's, telling yourself you'll rest later, promising yourself that once things settle, once this next difficult stretch is behind you, then you'll finally have space to breathe. But later kept moving further away, didn't it? And still, you kept showing up for your family, for the people who depend on you, for the responsibilities that didn't stop arriving simply because you were tired. You showed up even on the days when you had very little left to give, and you found something, some small reserve, and you gave that too. I saw that. Every single time. And I am not telling you this to overwhelm you with how much you've endured. I'm telling you because I want you to understand something that your exhaustion may have made difficult to feel lately. You have never been doing any of this without me beside you. Even in the moments it felt that way. Even in the silence when you wondered if anyone was paying attention to how hard you were trying. Even in the middle of the night when the weight felt like it was entirely yours. If something in this moment is bringing your heart a little peace, you're welcome to like this video or leave a quiet comment, even just a word or two. If you feel moved to share it, it may find someone else who needs to hear this today. And if you'd like to continue resting in this space, Subscribing keeps this peace close. Some hearts also choose to give through super thanks, a gentle way of saying thank you when something has touched them deeply. There is no expectation here, only gratitude that you are present. Even in the middle of the night when the weight felt like it was entirely yours. I was there. I have always been there. But there is something else I want to speak to now. Something quieter than the tiredness people might notice from the outside. Something that lives in a deeper place. The part of you that has been carrying weight that was never really meant to be spoken aloud. The kind that doesn't come up in conversation. The kind you've learned, over time, to simply absorb. I want to name some of it for you, not because naming it will fix it, but because there is something in the human heart that needs to know its hidden places have been seen, that the things carried in silence are not the same as things that don't exist. They exist. I know about the worry you manage on behalf of people who don't even know you're worried, the way you think 3 steps ahead, not for yourself, but to protect the ones you love from outcomes they haven't even considered yet. That quiet mental labor, constant and mostly invisible, that runs beneath everything else you do. I know about the disappointments you processed alone, the moments you hoped for something, not something large, not something unreasonable. Just a little acknowledgement, a little softness, a small sign that someone noticed what you were carrying, and it didn't come. And you adjusted. You told yourself it was fine. You kept moving, but something in you registered that moment. And then another one like it, and another, and slowly, without meaning to, you began carrying those too. There are fears you haven't said out loud because speaking them felt like it might make them more real. Questions about the future that you hold carefully, turning them over quietly in your mind, not wanting to burden anyone else with the uncertainty you're already managing inside yourself. There is grief, perhaps, that never had the right moment to be felt fully. Loss that you moved through quickly because life didn't pause, because others needed you to be steady, because falling apart didn't feel like something you could afford. And so you carried that as well. My beloved, the weight of unspoken things is not lighter than the weight of spoken ones. In some ways, it is heavier because it has nowhere to go. It simply stays, and you have been holding so much of it for so long that you may have stopped noticing where the weight ends and where you begin. That is not a flaw in you. It is what happens when a tender heart keeps showing up for a world that doesn't always stop to ask what it needs. But I am asking now. Not in the way that requires you to find the right words, or explain yourself clearly, or make sense of everything you've been feeling. You don't have to organize any of it for me. You don't have to understand it yourself before bringing it here. I already know what's in those quiet rooms inside you. I have always known, and I have never once looked at what you carry and turned away, and I want you to understand something now. Something I need you to hear not as a correction, but as a truth spoken with great tenderness. You were never meant to hold the world without me. Not this world, not the weight of it, not the uncertainty of it, not the unpredictability of it, not the way it keeps asking more of you before you've had a chance to recover from what it already took. You were not designed for that kind of solitary holding. No one is, and yet, I have watched so many tender hearts try. I have seen the way people who love deeply begin to quietly believe that needing help is a kind of failure, that asking for support is a burden on others, that the most responsible thing, the most loving thing, is to simply manage, to keep the surface calm, to keep the people around them from worrying, to absorb what needs absorbing and not let it show. I have watched you do this, and I have never loved you less for it. But I want you to hear me gently when I tell you that belief, the one that says you have to handle it alone, that belief was never something I placed in you. It crept in somewhere along the way, through experiences that taught you self-reliance as a form of survival, through moments when reaching out didn't bring what you needed, through years of being the strong one until being strong became the only version of yourself you knew how to offer. But my child, strength was always meant to be shared between us, not performed, not maintained at the cost of your own quiet falling apart, not carried forward through sheer will while the deeper parts of you grow more exhausted by the day. There is a different kind of strength I want you to know. It is the kind that comes not from holding tighter, but from finally allowing yourself to be held. It is quieter than what you've been practicing. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't look impressive from the outside, but it is more sustaining than anything you have managed to build through effort alone. I am near you right now, not in a distant, abstract way, near the way a presence feels when the room is quiet and something settles in your chest that you didn't expect. That is not nothing. That is not imagination. That is me, closer than your next breath, waiting not for you to have it all together, but simply for you to let me into the places where you don't. You have been so brave for so long, but bravery was never meant to mean alone. And if something in you, some small, tired part that has been waiting a long time for permission, is beginning to feel the edge of that truth right now, I want you to know that what you're feeling is real. That quiet loosening, that almost exhale, the sense that perhaps, just perhaps, you don't have to keep gripping quite so hard. That is not weakness arriving, that is rest, finally finding the door. Some hearts, when they feel something shift in a moment like this, feel quietly moved to give, not out of obligation, but out of love. If that is you, Super Thanks is a simple, gentle way to express that. It helps keep this space of peace available for other weary hearts who need it too. Only if love moves you, never as an expectation. That is rest finally finding the door, and I want you to let it in. Not tomorrow, not once things settle, not after the next difficult stretch has passed and the responsibilities ease and the people around you need a little less. I am not asking you to wait for a quieter season before you allow yourself to breathe. I am asking you now, in this moment, exactly as things are, with everything still unresolved, with the questions still unanswered, with the list still unfinished and the worry still present and the tiredness still real, right here in the middle of all of it, I am asking you to lay it down. Not permanently, not in a way that means abandoning what you love or stepping away from what matters. I am not asking you to stop caring. I know you couldn't do that even if you tried, because the caring is woven into who you are. I am asking you to stop carrying it as if I am not here. There is a difference between caring deeply and gripping tightly, between loving well and exhausting yourself in the effort to control outcomes that were never fully in your hands to begin with. You have been doing both at once for a long time, and part of the tiredness you feel is the weight of that second thing, the gripping, the managing, the quiet, desperate effort to keep everything from going wrong through sheer force of your own attention. You can release that part, not because the things you're concerned about don't matter, they do. Not because your presence in the lives of the people you love isn't significant, it is, but because there is only so much a human heart was built to hold before the holding itself begins to cost more than it gives. And I have seen you approaching that edge, so I am speaking to you here gently, the way you speak to someone you love, when you can see they are running on very little, and they haven't yet realized how close to empty they are. Put it down, my child. The worry about what might happen, the guilt about what didn't, the pressure you've been placing on yourself to hold it all together perfectly, to never let anything slip, to always be the one who comes through, the standard you hold yourself to that you would never dream of holding someone else to. Lay it down here with me, not because I will make every difficult thing disappear, but because some of what you've been carrying, I was always meant to carry with you. And somewhere along the way, in the exhaustion and the motion and the dailiness of it all, you forgot to let me take my share. I am here now. The door is open. The weight is not yours alone to hold. And the part of you that is so tired, that quiet, sincere, deeply human part that has been holding on for so long, that part is allowed to rest. And I want you to know what happens when you do. Not in a theoretical way, not as a promise that requires you to understand it fully before you can receive it, but simply, when you release what you've been gripping, something shifts, not always loudly, not always in a way that others would notice from the outside, but inside, in that place where the real weight lives, something changes. It becomes lighter. Not because the circumstances changed, not because the difficult things suddenly resolved themselves, or the people you love stopped needing things, or the responsibilities disappeared, but because you are no longer carrying it in isolation, because the part of the load that was never meant to be yours alone has somewhere to go now. I am holding what you couldn't anymore. I want you to let that settle for a moment, because I mean it in the most real way possible. Not as a comfort phrase, not as something gentle to say when there is nothing else to offer. I mean it the way you mean something when you have been present through the entirety of a struggle and you finally have the chance to say, I have been here. I have been carrying this with you. You just couldn't always feel me. There were moments in the heaviest stretches when you felt entirely alone in it. I know that. I am not asking you to pretend those moments didn't feel the way they felt. I am not asking you to rewrite your own experience into something more comfortable. The loneliness was real. The exhaustion was real. The moments when you wondered whether any of it was being seen, those were real too. But my presence in those moments was also real, even when it was quiet, even when I wasn't moving in ways you could see or feel or point to. I was in the steadiness that kept you going when you had no explanation for where the strength was coming from. I was in the small mercies that arrived just before the breaking point. I was in the moments of unexpected calm that settled over you in the middle of situations that should have felt unmanageable. That was not coincidence. That was me holding what you were struggling to hold, standing in the places where you were most close to buckling, making sure that the weight never fully crushed what it was pressing against. You have been more held than you realized, and now I want you to feel it, not just know it as an idea, but feel it the way you feel warmth. Gradually, quietly, moving inward from the outside until something deep in you recognizes it and softens in response. You are not alone in this. You have not been managing in isolation, even when it felt that way. And the things that still feel heavy, the things still unresolved, the concerns that will still be there tomorrow, those are not outside of my awareness. I have not missed them. I have not forgotten them. And I have not forgotten you. So rest here with me tonight, not in the sense of escaping what waits for you, not in the sense of pretending the morning won't come with its own demands, its own weight, its own list of things that need your attention. I am not asking you to step away from your life. I am asking you to step into this moment, this quiet, still moment, and simply be here without carrying anything extra. Just you, just this. There is something I have noticed about hearts that have been tired for a long time. They sometimes forget what it feels like to simply exist without bracing, without waiting for the next thing to manage, without holding themselves slightly tense against whatever might be coming next. The bracing becomes so habitual that it stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like just the way things are. But it doesn't have to be. Not right now, not here. I want you to feel, even if only for these few minutes, what it is like to be somewhere safe, somewhere where nothing is required of you, somewhere where you don't have to perform strength or hold a certain kind of steadiness or make sure everyone around you is okay before you allow yourself to breathe. You are safe here. That is not a small thing. I know it may feel like a simple word, safe. But I mean it in the fullest way. Safe from judgment. Safe from the pressure of expectation. Safe to be exactly as tired as you actually are. Exactly as uncertain as you actually feel. Exactly as human and unfinished and quietly worn as this season has made you. You don't have to be more than that right now. And I want to say something else. Something that I think your heart needs to hear before this moment passes. The fact that you are here, that you stayed, that something in you reached toward this space today. That was not accidental. Hearts in genuine peace don't usually go searching for it. It's the ones carrying something, the ones who need to be reminded that they are not alone, who find their way to a quiet place like this. You found your way here, and I am glad you did. I have been with you through every part of what you've been carrying, through the visible parts and the hidden ones, through the days you handled with grace and the ones you barely got through the moments of genuine faith and the moments when faith felt distant and the practice of it felt like going through motions. I was present in all of it, and I am present now. This is what I want to leave settled in you, not as something you have to remember correctly or hold on to tightly, but as something that simply rests in you quietly, like warmth that stays in a room long after the light has shifted. You are loved without condition. You are seen without exception. And you are never in any moment carrying anything alone. Let that be enough for tonight. Let it be the thing that is true underneath everything else that is still uncertain. Let it be the ground beneath you when the weight of everything above feels like too much. I am here. I have always been here, and that will not change. If something today touched a quiet place in your heart, and you feel moved to give, super thanks is a gentle way some choose to express that gratitude. It helps this space of peace continue reaching hearts that need it. And if something stirred in you today, I'd love for you to share it in the comments. Even just a word, even just what you felt. Your presence here matters more than you know. If you'd like to stay close to this place, subscribing keeps it near. And if you feel called to go deeper, joining as a member is a quiet way to walk this journey together. Thank you, sincerely, for being here today and for letting this moment find you.